Welcome to Voices from the Valley, a podcast of the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. I'm Amy Spreeman, and today we're talking about nonprofit organizations in our area and why it is vitally important to equip leaders to be able to do the important work they do in our community. Sitting in our co-host chair today is Annette Look, the program manager for the Nonprofit Leadership Initiative. And if you haven't heard about this organization, you need to. Annette, welcome.
Hi, Amy. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Annette, can you briefly share what this unique organization is all about and its partnership with the Community Foundation?
Absolutely. So the Nonprofit Leadership Initiative is a program within the Community Foundation. And we were founded about 7 years ago because several funders in the area wanted to find additional ways to support nonprofits besides just providing funding. And we know that nonprofits need strong leadership and other resources to be successful. And that's where we come in. For example, our Leadership Institute is one of our programs.
Yeah, and last week something very special happened. You had 15 community leaders working at nonprofits who graduated from Leadership Institute in a celebration and ceremony at Fox Valley Technical College, and I was really thrilled to be a part of that, Annette.
Yeah, I'm so glad you were there, Amy. It was a great event. So the Leadership Institute is one of the programs we offer, and it's a year-long program that equips, prepares, and inspires our nonprofit leaders as they serve our communities. And we talked with our Institute coordinator, Nancy Hikes, about the impact these graduates will make in the organizations they serve. And here's what she had to say.
This program is so important to me as a person who's been a nonprofit leader and consultant in the Fox Valley for years and watched amazing missions thrive and grow and struggle. And I'm so proud of this community that they saw the need to resource, especially beginning nonprofit leaders, with education and a support network so that they can be successful in their early years and that they can lead their organizations well, because their missions are so important. Nonprofit leaders often grow up through their organizations or their professions as social workers or other things. None of us are really taught to lead in an organization. Even if we come from for-profit work, we just never needed to deal with a volunteer board as our boss. And so there's a lot to learn while you're trying to do mission in a new role. So one thing that the Institute has done is bring people together to get that knowledge from terrific instructors, as well as build a support network. Because that's the other excellent thing about this community is that there's a very collaborative spirit. And we want to build those relationships for people so that they have others in similar situations to call on, that essentially know that there's support. We modeled ourselves on some other nonprofit work that's going on in states like New Hampshire and Florida. So we had models to follow as well. But the support for this from funders and others, we have volunteer instructors. Some of them give their time from their organizations to be able to instruct in this program. That amount of sort of wraparound embrace of how important this is for our nonprofits, it is very unique to this community. The idea came from a combination of funders and community leaders and nonprofit leaders back in the day, a series of town hall meetings that identified the need. And then, of course, when the initiative was designed, then the funders stepped up and said, yes, we see that we've learned through the town halls what the need could be. We've been part of the design of the solution, as it were, and then stepped up to support it, which is just terrific. And not only support it with dollars, it's really fun. We have an exercise every February in which we invite community leaders, and some of them are the funders of the program, to come in and be board members for a mock board presentation that each of our students does. And so they get a chance to see these leaders in action and also give them counsel and mentor in that way. And we're so happy. I said there are some years in which I've had more volunteers than I've had spots. So the program is designed and the instruction is designed as a 101 for a new executive director. So that may be a person who's new to leadership entirely, maybe a person who's come from for-profit leadership into nonprofit leadership, right? Any of those situations. That was the original design. About half our class every year is people in that role who are fairly new, right? The other half of our class we found are people who wanted to come into the program because they aspire to be an executive director, and they're close enough. They're a program director or a deputy or assistant or something like that. And they in the organization see the development possibility for themselves. And so they come into class as that development opportunity to try it out. What would it be like? What would I need to know? How would I fill in all my skills if I know marketing or program or other things? How would I learn finance and fundraising and board work to be able to sort of see myself in that role? So I think when I think about building and capacity building in the community, it's not only the people who are in executive director roles now that we're building and adding to their capacity. We're helping organizations build their succession pipeline as well. The diversity in age, experience, type of organization, we have human service, arts, nature, environmental organizations all over, has been wonderful. And I always say to the class at the beginning that we have great instructors and we work really hard to give you a top-notch, excellent program in terms of the content delivered to you. But our goal is for you to learn as much from each other as you do from the instructors. And that cohort building, as we call it, right? The relationships between people, what they teach each other. So whether it's, I'm a young person, I have an older board, right? Or I'm in an arts organization, and there are things I can learn from a human service organization and how they do things with volunteers. How people who come from organizations all of a sudden discover collaboration that they might take on with another organization. We've seen that happen a number of times. It's really been fun to see. And whether it happens during the year of class or we do follow our alumni and try and gather them always. COVID has, of course, been a problem there. But all the connections that happen between all the people who have now gone through this experience, I look around and say, we are building a strong region because of this network of people who have this common interest in their own development, have come together to do collaborative learning, and who now know more about other things going on in the region that they might not have, had an opportunity because they've been busy in their lane, doing their good work. The nonprofit sector is so important. I mean, if we did one of those exercises where all our nonprofits were gone for a day, just think of what would not happen in this community, how much we depend on our service. And we tackle complicated problems. And so we need good, talented people, and we need to resource them to be able to tackle this stuff that only they can figure out with others. I wish so many people could come to an event like this, because I think people would be so proud of the community and so excited about the future when they see all these leaders and how they're working together and how much they appreciate each other.
This is Jerry Malman with the Chilton Area Community Foundation, an affiliate of the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. We're celebrating 20 years of enhancing the quality of life in the greater Chilton area. Chilton's a small, close-knit community where giving hearts are common. I'm so proud of the generous individuals, businesses, and organizations that have set up more than 50 funds. In 2 decades, we've granted more than $7 million to area nonprofits, making a difference in the Chilton area. Learn more at chiltonareafoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Laura Marunk with Godfrey & Kahn in Appleton. As a board member and volunteer for the Community Foundation of the Fox Valley region, I'm honored to help our donors invest in the community that has given them so much. Thanks to the Community Foundation, donors of all levels and backgrounds can direct their generosity to nonprofits that impact lives, ensuring that together we flourish. To learn more about giving, please go to cffoxvalley.org.
A Annette, the graduation of this class of 2022 is more than just a ceremony, isn't it? I mean, it's a celebration not only of what they learned, but the relationships they've built with one another.
Yes, that's right, Amy. The cohort learning is what makes this program unique. We limit enrollment to 16 so they can really learn from each other and build strong connections. Every year, we hear about ways the cohort members work together to strengthen our community. For example, this year, Cindy from the Neenah Animal Shelter told me she's working with her classmate, John, from the Bergstrom Mahler Museum of Glass. Somehow they're combining pets and glassworks for an event this summer. And as Cindy told me, they probably wouldn't have met without the Leadership Institute.
I love hearing stories like that, Annette, and I loved attending this graduation ceremony and hearing their passion for this program. All of the students who are graduating said the same thing, that the relationship building was one of the most valuable takeaways. Here are some of their other comments.
I'm Emily Lewis. I am the new Client Services Director at Levin. I started in a different position when I started the Institute, and going through the Institute really almost gave me permission to learn and expand where my skills and talents were going to be utilized. So I felt like the journey through the Institute literally changed my life. I just want to thank the Institute and all the donors and the Community Foundation for, putting this on year after year and just strengthening the community, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do it. And all the instructors and everybody it's been life-changing, truly.
I'm Jen Ainsworth. I'm the Executive Director for Wild Ones Natural Landscapers. We are an organization that promotes the use of native plants, nonprofit based in Neenah. Starting as an ED, I was missing some things. I was missing board management, board operations, and then a little bit about fundraising, and then just some more about high-level nonprofit operations. So this was a really good opportunity to supplement what I hadn't had experience in my prior roles. I would just highly recommend this program. It's a great addition to whatever your current sprinkling of history and exposure and experience has been, and I very much enjoyed the program.
My name is Brad Creighton, and I'm the Community Engagement Director at Volunteer Fox Cities. I've always been in different roles, different leadership roles, but I've never really had any formal training. So at the forefront, I really wanted to get some of that formal training. And the executive director at our agency has been through a previous cohort and loved her experience, learned so much. And then once going through, the amount that I learned and the pieces of information about my leadership and everything far outgrew what I expected coming in. I think that as a community here, we have such an amazing network of organizations and nonprofits that really do so much great work to strengthen everything in our area. And for me personally, to be able to learn from this program, take the leadership skills that I've learned back into our organization so we can strengthen our part in that really cool community web that we weave. It really multiplies the impact that everybody can have.
My name is Kristen Trimberger, and I am the Executive Director at Reach Counseling in Neenah. And, I really wanted to participate in this program because I had heard from past participants about what a valuable experience it was for them. And I have to say, one of the best things about it is every time we meet, no matter what it was that we were learning about, we were able to go back and apply it to the work that our team was doing. So it was extremely valuable. Also, now I have so many other contacts and other nonprofit professionals to go to, for support and for problem solving as we're all continuing to just learn and grow together and strengthen our organizations and our community. So it has been a really, really valuable experience.
My name is Laura Jones, and I am the Social and Community Service Outreach Director for African Heritage, Inc. And participating in a nonprofit leadership initiative and institute has been an amazing and life-changing experience. I've got to meet lifelong partners in the aspect of nonprofit world and other amazing directors. I've learned a lot as I am a young director of the organization myself. It was a life learning opportunity for me. Everything coming into this experience I did not know, and so I left with a load of knowledge, and I'm really grateful and appreciative to everyone who was involved in this opportunity because they are who invested in me to make me a better leader.
Yes, I'm Ernesto Gonzalez from Casa Hispana, and we're a nonprofit referral agency, and the program provided me with a toolbox, an essential toolbox to implement structure to our organization. And at my age, I'm already, as many people retire at probably a couple of years before my age, but at this point, looking forward to also maybe pass the baton to younger leadership. I also immediately found out as I saw the structure of the program, and I thought this is very essential. It'll probably go beyond what I'm realizing, and it did.
I'm Sri Badi. I'm the outgoing president and current strategic mentor of Indus of Fox Valley.
Hi, I'm Meher Naz Balaporia. I'm the current president at Indus of Fox Valley and the most recent graduate at Nonprofit Leadership Initiative. This program was extremely helpful and insightful for me because being part of nonprofits in itself can be a very difficult position to be in because sometimes you feel you're on your own. But by being part of this cohort, we were all able to come together and learn some amazing things. All the topics that were taught to us were very relatable, and the instructors that were there for us were extremely knowledgeable. They shared great wisdom and are approachable, and we know we can lean on them as we move forward and implement things in our organizations.
During my time, I had used what I learned in the Leadership Institute to continue and sustain my organization and create an action plan. With the support of my then board chair, Nancy Hikes, the board and the general body, we had reconstituted the bylaws, restructured the organization, and motivated the board. That's what we did a few years ago, 6 years ago to be exact.
And now that Sri put that plan into action, we have a working board, and we're all more involved, and we have a proper succession plan, and we try to make sure that we can give back to the community and continue with our mission.
And the Institute really helped and gives us the tools and techniques that is helpful in sustaining an organization, because we need to know how to run it as efficiently as possible, as much as having the right place, the heart in the right place.
I would like to thank the Community Foundation for sponsoring a program like this and making it available to all the nonprofits, because it is extremely important for nonprofits to have this connection and also the skill set that they provide.
The Community Foundation's collective impact is tremendous. In 2021 alone, the organization distributed $38.5 million in grants to more than 1,300 local recipients. Those grants support the full range of charitable causes in the community, from human services to the arts. The Community Foundation is led by an impressive team of volunteers and staff. Learn how you, your family, or business can make a difference at www.cffoxvalley.org. Thank you.
I'm Reg Whitehaven, a local attorney with McCarty Law and a board member for the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. The Community Foundation is about connecting the needs of the community with solutions, as evidenced by the Nelson Family Crossing, a walkway linking Kaukauna and Little Chute. I've also seen Community Foundation staff connect my clients to certain causes or charities. I'd like to connect you with the Community Foundation's helpful and passionate staff. Please call 920-830-1290 or go to cffoxvalley.org.
So hi, my name is Scott Borley, and I'm the Dean of Business here at Fox Valley Tech. And just want to say we got involved about 8 years ago with NPLI and just kind of brainstorming ideas of what it might look like. And just it's so important to us to have a healthy community, especially with the nonprofit sector. Very, very excited to be partnering with NPLI and continuing to bring this training to so many people in our community.
Annette, NPLI does such a great job with this program, but you also offer many other programs and a ton of resources for nonprofits in the Fox Valley. So let's talk about some of those.
Sure. We actually have 9 different programs, Amy. We provide leadership development, resources and training, and opportunities for network and community building. And I'll just mention a few of these 9 programs. One of our newest programs is our Board Academy. And this program was actually developed because our Leadership Institute graduates asked if their board members could get some of the same training they received. So with their help, we developed a 6-session Board Academy. And we use many of the same trainers as we do as the Institute. So those board members are receiving the same critical information on nonprofit management. We also offer a Board Connect program because nonprofits need board members and they need help recruiting them. So we created an online Board Connect site where nonprofits for free can post their board and committee openings, and community members can access that 24/7 to find nonprofits that are making an impact in a cause they care about and hopefully get involved in some of those board and committee leadership opportunities.
That's almost like a job board, isn't it? So anybody who wants to serve on a board, maybe they've never done that before, they can search and say, oh, here's where I fit.
Absolutely. And it's just starting that conversation with a nonprofit and see where they do fit as maybe a committee member or a board member. We also have lots of other programs, Amy. We have fundraising capacity building programs. We provide some financial education, and we also create lots of different roundtables and alumni events so we can bring nonprofit staff and board members together so they can learn.
And that's why we're having this conversation today. NPLI is truly a gem in our community for our nonprofit leaders and our community at large. We want to strengthen our community. And we've got all of the links for Nonprofit Leadership Initiative and its many offerings in our program notes for this episode today. You can find those links in our show notes today by going to cffoxvalley.org and look for the podcast link on our homepage, and then just look for today's episode titled Equipping Our Nonprofits. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Annette, for joining us. You can subscribe to this podcast and get all of our episodes delivered to you on demand, sent to your computer or smart device. We'll see you next time on Voices from the Valley, a podcast of the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region.